every morning with drive. Being on the grind, know I had to survive. We had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble. I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble.
Hello and welcome into the Rookie Prospect Profile Series. This is a Zilla Fantasy Elite production. Today, we're going to be looking at wide receiver Malik Washington within the rookie wide receiver machine learning models. Can Malik Washington rise to the occasion, or will he fall short and not make any impact in our fantasy lineups based on our fantasy projections? Don't miss out on the insights from our advanced algorithms and get the answers now. All right, Malik Washington was the 26th wide receiver drafted in the NFL draft in the 6th round, pick 184 overall. Pretty solid landing spot here with the Miami Dolphins. And he comes into the league having previously played college football for Northwestern and then transferring to Virginia. So Northwestern, not known for its offense, transferred to Virginia last year, and then Washington finished with 110 receptions for 1,426 yards and 9 touchdowns in his final collegiate season. Really, really good there. College dominator rating, 47.4. College target share, 35.6. So to give some context, Marvin Harrison Jr., basically exactly even with him in terms of the college dominator rating and a little bit higher of a target share than him in his collegiate career. So really, really good numbers there. Malik Washington did jump 42.5 in the vertical jump. He is 5'9", 191 pounds. So not real big there. He did have a 20.7 breakout age, 19 reps in the bench, which is pretty solid. And then 4.47 in the 40-yard dash, also pretty good. 9-inch hands, which we know is important for these rookie models. So what is he going to look like? Let's dive into season number 1 for him. And we can see here some pretty interesting ranks, considering we know he was the 26th wide receiver off the board. He is the 14th best mean and median in year 1 here. So throughout that rookie season, 5.23, 5.18 for the mean and median, maxing out at 10.57. And we see kind of across the board pretty decent numbers there in terms of his ranking in the class, considering he was drafted number 26 overall. So let's go look at that 5 to 5.5 range. Who hit that in their rookie season out of the last 11 draft classes? Again, there's over 400 wide receivers in the last 11 draft classes who recorded any sort of snap in the NFL during their rookie season. And he's sitting in the territory that's just hovering around the top 150 seasons for his mean and median. So all of these guys are hovering in between 4.9 and 5.4 fantasy points per game. I'll just start from the bottom, go to the top. Equinemius St. Brown, Deontay Burnett, Zay Jones, Vincent Smith, Tyquan Thornton, Olamide Zaccheaus, J.J. Nelson, Quintez Cephas, Paul Richardson, Marquise Goodwin, Marcel Aitman, Lynn Bowden, Stedman Bailey, Paris Campbell, Corey Washington, Corey Brown, and Adam Humphries. Considering he's a 6th-round draft pick from the Miami Dolphins, he's got all that competition ahead of him. Wouldn't be too terrible to see him hit this 5 fantasy point per game range in his rookie season. I think we consider that a success at that point. Getting into that maximum output of 10.5. For historical context, you're getting into the top 50 wide receiver seasons of the last 11 draft classes for the rookie year. Marquise Brown exactly at 10.5. Drake London 10.51. Jahan Dotson 10.88. Devonta Smith 10.92. Then Devontae Parker, Kiki QT at 10.4. Hunter Renfrow, Christian Kirk, and Aaron Dobson all at 10.3, right in that particular area of his maximum output. So pretty solid year 1 here, considering it was the 26th wide receiver off the board. Very good college dominator rating. Saw some pretty good college stats. That's probably why it's up here. But do we see him improve? Is he going to be one of these underground, breakout candidates? Let's go look at year number 2. And we do see an improvement here in his mean and median, which is really good. The ranks go down a little bit. But again, he was 26th wide receiver drafted. So he's well above the 26th ranked wide receiver here. Mean and median at 6.2 and 6.21, as I said. Increased maximum output at 10.87. Starting to look like one of those maybe decent floor, but not a high ceiling type of guy. CV at 26.6 is very confident in these particular results, so not a bad start to his career here. Year 1 and year 2, we do see a little bit of an improvement at that point. Let's go see where the 6 to 6.5 range is for wide receivers who have played 2 seasons within the last 11 draft classes and see his comparables. So these are the wide receivers in their second year who hit in between 6 and 6.5 fantasy points per game. Sammy Coates, Devin Funchess, Ben Skoranek, Jalen Guyton, Justin Watson, Chris Conley, Stedman Bailey, Dorial Green-Beckham, Kadarius Toney, Roger Lewis, Keelan Cole, Scotty Miller, and John Ross. Not a super inspiring list of people there, but I think if this guy's 6th-round pick has the rookie season that he had, we see a little bit of improvement here into year 2. There might be some stipulation around him, especially if at this point Tyreek Hill retires. Hey, who's the next guy up? Malik Washington. We've seen some improvement out of him. He's been a little bit better than expected for a 6th-round draft pick. At that point, you might be able to sell him in Dynasty. That maximum output, though, not super high at 10.87, just a few guys in the closest range around there. Josh Palmer, Dante Moncrief, Dede Westbrook, Drake London again, Rondale Moore, Mike Williams, and Chase Claypool. That's if he hits a ceiling outcome in year 2, which who knows, if somebody goes down on that Miami team, he might find himself with some opportunity. And he certainly produced in college and could produce in the NFL if given the opportunity based off of what the machine learning models are saying so far. So let's get into year 3. Do we see any improvement from Malik Washington? And unfortunately, we see him take about a 2 fantasy point per game step down in year 3, which, like I said, at that point in year 2, we say, hey, we've seen some improvement out of this guy. Maybe we can offload him onto a dynasty squad, gain a 2nd-round pick, something like that, if he finds himself in a good situation. Because the model is saying, hey, this guy could probably see himself do well in these first 2 seasons, but typically this profile we see take a big step back in year 3. And that mean and median now at 4.3 and 4.12 are the 28th and 27th ranked ones in the class, a little bit closer to his actual overall draft pick. We do see the maximum output go up at this point, 14.29, 21st best in the class, but a pretty high CV at 46.5. Let's go check those mean and medians who looked like that in their 3rd year. And here's a list of players that were all between 4 and 4.5. We do see Stedman Bailey on this list again, Aaron Dobson. We heard on one of the maximum outputs. Freddie Martino, Kadarius Toney, who we did see before, Nick Williams, Josh Reynolds, Jason Moore, Paul Richardson, Desmond Patton, Aaron Dobson, and Stedman Bailey. Some of those names are intriguing. Kadarius Toney, interesting name to have him pop up on here several times in terms of the median outcome. Getting into that maximum range, 14.29 is not too shabby. Looking into the annals of the last 11 draft classes, that would put him right at wide receiver number 25 in their 3rd season if he would hit his ceiling like that. The other names around there are pretty solid. The closest 5, I guess, would be Marquise Brown, Jalen Waddle, Steph Diggs, Devonta Smith, Jarvis Landry, and DK Metcalf, all hovering in between 14.14 and 14.37. And then there's a pretty big jump up to Will Fuller. In his 3rd year, he hit 15.2. So that's the range of outcomes of his ceiling projection in year 3. How about year 4? We're going to see any improvement here? Maybe a big breakout? Not really. Pretty much more of the same, hovering in the 4 to 6 range here for him throughout his entire first 4 seasons in the league. 5.29, 5.25 for his mean and median, both ranked 20th and 19th there. So again, ahead of the curve in terms of his 26th wide receiver off the board draft capital. Maximum output, again, pretty weak there at 11.48. Let's go look at those numbers. Who's hitting 5 to 5.5 fantasy points per game during their 4th season out of the last 11 draft classes? Again, there's a total of 182 wide receivers in the last 11 draft classes who at least have recorded a snap in their 4th season. And the list of players in between 5 and 5.5 in their 4th season: Marcus Wheaton, Taylor Gabriel, Darnell Mooney, Cody Latimer, Nick Williams again, we've seen that name a few times, and Devontae Parker finally kind of broke the 10 fantasy points per game that he was doing the first 3 seasons and took a huge step back in that year 4 at 5.5. So maximum output 11.48. Looking at that, that's actually T. Higgins last year hit 11.47. Marquise Lee, Deontay Johnson, Russell Gage, Mecole Hardman, all roughly in that particular range as well in their 4th season. So if he maxes out, that's the type of player you're looking at, but probably not going to do that into year 4. Just an intriguing profile overall. Really good college dominator rating and college target share, which we saw kind of equate to, hey, he's in the mid to upper teens in year 1. This guy could produce as early as year 1. We've seen that particular profile do pretty decently in their 1st year. 2nd year takes a little leap forward, and then maybe at that point you can offload him in your dynasty rosters if it looks like he's got an opportunity to take a leap forward or get some opportunities on his team. At that point, you sell him before maybe the NFL draft, and he gets replaced in year 3, which we see he takes a huge leap down. All right, that's going to do it for today's rookie prospect profile on Malik Washington. Hope you appreciated this. It's presented by Zilla Fantasy Elite. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button and have a great life. Thank you. Bye.